Good morning. How's everybody doing? My name's Alex. I work here at Cal Poly Pomona. We're excited to welcome all of you here to the AI Fair and Hackathon. Thank you for being early and on time and all of that great stuff. And I also want to thank Loretta Villanueva and Joseph Dixon and Curtis Carpenter for all their hard work in helping make today successful. It's my honor to introduce Provost Gomez to give opening remarks. We've got a full day. She'll describe some of it, but after opening remarks, we'll go into the hackathon. We've got demonstrations in Ursa Major. We've got trainings that are happening, a screening of a film, and more. So, Provost Gomez, thank you.
All right, good morning. Thank you for having me join you today, and thank you to all of the CPP faculty, staff, and students who made this event possible. I also want to thank Avanade, Inland Empire Utilities Agency, Palo Alto Networks, Splunk, Cisco, Databricks, and Amazon Web Services for their sponsorship. Over the last year, the Cal Poly Pomona community has put a lot of time and effort into advancing the study and use of AI on our campus. It is critical that we understand the technology so we can best support our students who increasingly encounter, use, and even build AI in their personal and professional lives. The Academic Affairs Emerging Technology Governance Committee has made thoughtful contributions to the conversation by developing guidelines around how we integrate AI in and out of the classroom. And I appreciate their cross-divisional work. For the faculty in attendance today, thank you. I hope you will consider applying for an AI course integration grant if you are using AI in your pedagogy. Your work will help us continue this important conversation. I am also so appreciative of the deep partnerships we have with Avanade and Microsoft, who have been just incredible partners for our students, providing them with so many learn by doing opportunities. I'm so glad that CPP students have this access so they are better prepared to be leaders in business, technology, and other industries. The rest of the day is jam-packed. Please look at the agenda. Next up will be the hackathon presentations beginning at 9:30 at Ursa Major. I hope you will also check out the demonstrations, training, and film screening. Later this morning, you can also go on a smart manufacturing lab tour in the Department of Industrial and Manufacturing Engineering. During lunch, you can stay for the keynote talk with Rob Leach, Global Microsoft Executive and General Manager of Avanade. And to wrap up the day, you can attend a panel discussion on the growing opportunities for AI, hear who wins the hackathon, and participate in a session led by the our very own California Center for Ethics and Policy. Thank you for attending today, and we hope you have a fabulous day.
On the clock, I should have been on deck. Can you raise your hand if you're a student participating in the Databricks Challenge? Okay, good. That looks like we've got 3 teams. From 9:30 to about 10 is the Databricks Challenge, and then we'll switch to AI Hackathon Challenge. And I have to thank Avanade and Databricks for bringing us this challenge at the last minute, and we thought they were crazy, but for the hackathon, it turned out fantastic, and students did beautiful jobs. And they're going to be, the 3 finalists will be showing you their work today. I'd like to introduce our judging panel. Vijay Balasubramaniam from Databricks, Bryce Jaggers from Avanade, and Murdad Kuhiklamani from our own Cal Poly Pomona, and Emmanuel Orochio from Avanade. And he did a beautiful job on the first day of the hackathon, orienting everybody about how to use Databricks platform. And I'm going to be keeping a timer of 6 minutes, and I'll give you a wave when it's 1 minute in, and then judges can ask 2 questions, and then we move on to the next one. All right, Can we have next-gen claims and intelligence?
Hi everyone, I'm Pradeep, and this is our. So today we are excited to present about next-gen claims intelligence for healthcare billing. So we have built this to tackle one of the biggest challenges in healthcare industry, that is delays and inaccuracies in claim processing. So our project is all about using AI to bridge the gap efficiently and intelligently. So, business problem. In today's healthcare, every delayed and inaccurate claim affects real people. That is like people that might be people who are waiting for care or providers who are waiting for payments. So, manual claim reviews are very slow and resource intensive. And also, they often miss context from unstructured data like medical notes. On top of that, the fraud detection is very reactive, leading to billions of dollars losses annually. So we knew there had to be a better way, and that is where we built our solution.
So in our solution, we're using GenAI powered RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, to combine our structured data like the patient's notes, and also the unstructured data like the doctor's transcripts. So we are combining these two, and we are using the top document matching. So it finds the most relevant policy documents, and we are combining everything into our machine learning algorithm. So in our machine learning algorithm, it analyzes the patterns to flag anomalies or potentially fraudulent claims in real time. So finally, we are using Genie, which is part of the Databricks, for interactive queries on structured data on a unified dashboard. So in our business impact and value, so what we have created is our end-to-end data pipeline on Databricks. So we are using RAG, using the face embeddings and the semantic search across medical nodes. So this is not just a concept, it's a solution. So we are helping both the payers and the third-party billing companies to check for the fraudulent data. So with our solution, we are it's expected reduction in manual review by over 60%, and we are tapping a global market value of over $35 billion.
So now I'll be discussing on why we are unique. So the reason we are unique is because we have not just applied the AI models on the data that we got from the hospitals, but also on the medical notes and transcripts, which we collected in person from the hospitals. So also we have used the RAG built AI. So with that, we could have done context-aware is happening by itself. So we couldn't have done much, so we are using RAG for that. And also, we are also unique because we are using an interactive dashboard so that normal people, which are non-technical, can use the dashboard and get the ground reality about how things work out with the insurance claims and all. Thank you, guys.
So yeah, a scalability. For the scalability, we are looking into the real-time market. So as our teammates said before, we are trying to scan the unstructured data. So when we are doing that, right now we are doing the transcriptions and prescriptions given by doctor. And in the future, we are looking at the OCR document reader, where we will be scanning all the reports such as diagnostic reports such as MRI and CT, these kind of reports, where we can get some of the data readings for that. So we are trying to include that, and we are trying to make this as a plug-and-play device, like plug-and-play into API. We will be given access to the live APIs for the claims, where the medical insurance companies will be showing us the data of the receivers, and the hospitals will be giving the data what the patient has received, like what kind of diagnostics they have received. When we are able to access the APIs, we will be able to look into the claims end-to-end, so that it will make patient easier to know that why the claim is able to process or why it is delayed. And if there is any fraudulent alert, we can train our data with all the previous records of the hospital for that particular diagnostics, and we can raise a red flag on that, like the fraudulence in the sense the increase of prices or the rise in the keeping the wrong bills on that, something like that. So, and next one, we are trying to deploy a feedback loop. Since we are using Genie, the data which we are having is huge. Yeah, the data we are having is huge. So that Genie will be having the feedback loop and we can make it more interactive, and we wanted to build it as an enterprise-ready product. So future roadmap, what we are looking. So we are also trying to include this into dental, behavior, and vision kind of like hospitals and stuff. And also, as you know, there is a large number of patients in that. And also we are looking for integrate into a real-time data pipelines. As I told before, we are trying to see some fraudulent alerts within the data pipeline. And also we are trying to make a multimodal data integration where such as lab reports and everything, imaging summaries and everything is covered. So market opportunity, as we see that in 2023, it is a $37 billion market opportunity, like for the claims process. And it is expected to be $80 billion by 2032. Even capturing a small amount of this kind of market will lead us a good amount of business, which will lead us to a multi-million dollar opportunity. And as I told you before, we are trying to make it as much as automated or auditable and transparency. And this is our vision statement. We are trying to provide an AI platform for insurance companies where billing partners deliver transparency, speed, and fraud protection. And thank you. And before leaving, I would like to say that every delayed and false claim affects a real patient and a provider. Thank you. We are trying to reduce that.
We've got questions for next gen healthcare billing. Does anyone have a question for them? No?
For the next gen team, really nice job. I don't know if it's necessarily a question, but just a comment on the value of your idea. I think there's a huge challenge in the clinician space with clinician burnout, and part of the burnout is the back and forth on these documentation, and it got denied, and what they actually have to do. So I would extend that, and then also look to extend it to the patient, because the patient is kind of wrapped up into this back and forth, and it'd be good for them to be able to have a portal that could look into this solution and see where their claim is, and then extend it to an appeals process as well. But really nicely done. I think there's other segments that could really bring even more value to the solution.
So, as I told before, we are trying to, we know that how hospitals work. Whenever they come with an insurance, they will try to check whether the insurance provider or the person who is taking the insurance is within their chain. So the first thing is that. But when they do that, even there will be a team of insurance who will investigate the diagnostics and do the reporting. So here they are trying to get the data and verify it with their data. So what we are doing is very simple. We are trying to connect both the data with a pipeline along with the unstructured diagnostics. But this will be used in the non-chain hospitals. Let's say an insurance company is having a hospital out of the chain. So some of the insurances offer the claim procedure where the patient should be paying the amount first and then proceed for the claims. So we are there, most of the fraud is happening, like they might be giving bills of double the prices, or they will be in contact with the management. So here we are thinking to, as I said, we prepared a LLM where there can be a cap for the particular state. We can put a cap for particular diagnostics based upon each chained hospital. So let's say even if a patient tried to take those diagnostics, we will be reviewing with our whole, similar diagnostics, because there is a lot of unstructured data, such as diagnostics reports, which are wasted. We are trying to read the data. You know, this might be a privileged data within doctor, but as we know that insurance companies will be also having this data to proceed that. We are just trying to read that and build a model. And with that help, we are trying to analyze both of the things and give the solution. And yeah, patient can also see the process, like the beginning and the end. Let's say right now we are getting emails. Instead of that, if they have a chatbot or already there are a lot of chatbots right now, but which they are not including these kind of facilities. So they are trying to reach out, making us to connect with the representatives, and then they are asking us for original documents. When we use hospital database and data sets, like all the data from hospital, the transparency will be increased. So this is what I am thinking for that.
Yeah, hi. Great presentation. I thought you did very well, especially the fact that you identified the market opportunity and the size is very impressive. So I'm from Databricks. I'm going to ask you a Databricks question. So with this solution, you're dealing with a lot of sensitive data, EHR and patient data and so on. How would you use Databricks to ensure the privacy and security and making sure that the data is handled properly? What primitives from Databricks would you leverage to ensure that privacy and security?
So basically, this is my idea, but I don't know how far this is correct. So what I'm thinking is to create a general database for this, and where we can mask the data before sending it into the database. Let's say some of the diagnosis might be sensitive, as you told. So as we know, right now we are using the same kind of masking techniques in banking systems, where the PIIs and stuff are masked. So why can't we mask this? So even investigative departments such as police departments, these all are masking their data before sending it into the database. We can do that, or else we can utilize Databricks for that later on to mask the data. And while sending it to the target, we can mostly accurately focus on the ID and the how our model is going to tell with the data. So I think masking the data is one of the options we are looking for. So yeah. Thank you.
The next team is news contextualizer dashboard.
All right. Hi. Good morning. My name is David Bull. I'm here representing our group, Group 23. We've got Elizabeth, Mao, and I'm Hawara. I'm like, what's your last name? Michael. That's right, Mike. So it's David, Mike, Elizabeth, and Mao, and we're here to talk a little bit about news and context. So I had a lot of time to think about this on the drive here. That's why we're a little bit late, but that's okay. And I want you to just take a second, and I want you to think about the last news headline that y'all read. And I want you to think about, what did it mean to you? How did you react to it? Was it true? Was it false? Did it make you angry? Did it make you happy? Yeah, I heard a laugh out there. And I think that's kind of what inspired our project, right? The news in context. There's a lot of talk out there about fake news. People see these articles and they're designed for fast consumption. They're designed to kind of make you react really quickly and feel a certain kind of way. And so instead of calling things true, things false, what we wanted to do was take a different swing at it and look at, can we give people the tools to present these news articles in context? Go ahead, next slide. All right, so there you go. Too much news, not enough context. Things go fast. In today's media environment, it's hit, move on. The problem is headlines are biased and incomplete. It depends on where you're looking at, right? It depends on what news sources you like. The approach right now, kind of looking at this, and you see some of the things here, panic, tariffs, oil, these are all things we hear. But I think a lot of people are thinking about, is this true, is this false? And to which I would respond, What is true? What is false? Without context, it's very, very difficult to parse what you read and what you see and really understand the entire story. We want to understand more than that. We want to understand the tone. We want to understand the perspectives. We want to understand the bias. So that's what we're aiming to do with our tool. Next slide. So this is kind of just a quick set of screenshots from our tool. So what we aim to do is first we take an article in and we summarize it, and we get a Genie-powered summary here. Then we try to classify the sentiment and the topic, right? We want to know what's the tone of what we're reading. Is it positive? Is it negative? And what's it about? Like, what are the topics underneath? And then finally, we want to give context. So what we aim to do is actually take the article that we see, look at the bias of the article, and then give some alternative biases. You can, this here was actually from a left-wing news site. And so we generated a center bias and a right bias news source. When we did this, we used something called All Sides, which is a company that goes out there and it ranks media sites by their bias. So we filtered it kind of through that prism, and then we provided alternative viewpoints on the same article. And it was built entirely within Databricks. We used LLMs to generate most of the content. Slide. So here is kind of an example. Don't just take my word for it. So you can see here kind of how it works, the sentiment. These are the same article, right? It's about the South Korean president and the impeachment. And you see here, the first one is negative, neutral, politics, same kind of topics, right and left. And so the idea, again, is to get the context, right? It's to understand is what you're seeing the entire story. So it was designed for people like the people in this audience, but also just normal, everyday people, right? How often have you wanted to know whether or not what you're looking at is the whole story? And that's kind of what we aimed it at. We wanted to be easy to use, fast, and we want to be able to display all the context. Next slide. This is a quick just rundown of the tech. Takes in the article URL, feeds it to several LLM agents. They do the summarization, they do sentiment analysis, they do topic classification. Then we use a retrieval augmented generation style retrieval, and we filter by the bias. We check to see if there's a fact check available, Snopes, whatever. And then we display all the different context inside of the notebook. So let me see. Yeah, that's all. Next slide. Are we able to roll the demonstration? 90 seconds, perfect. That's all I need. I'll keep talking while he goes. So basically, the idea is not only to present the news in context, right? But it's also to be able to ask questions. And that was something else that we kind of focused on with the Genie LLM is, can we ask questions about the article? And if we can't get it slow, that's fine. But I think we're coming up now. Ooh, we're gonna make it. Let's see. You got it? All right, that's all right. We'll keep going while they try to get that to load. Ideally, what you would see is the news article would load, the summary would load, and then you would be able to see the sentiment and the different kind of topics that are there. In the future, kind of what we hope to be able to do with this and kind of how we want to extend this is we want to be able to use it to maybe filter breaking news, right? When new topics come in, can we quickly contextualize those topics and look at all the different viewpoints to try and slow down the flow of misinformation, to slow down the flow of the things that come up that maybe aren't the entire truth, but part of the truth. And ultimately, what we want is we don't want to tell you how to think. We want to let you think for yourself and give you the tools to think about everything in context. And that's all we got. Thank you very much. Dose. Excellent. All right. Go ahead. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. So thinking just right off the top of my head, I think the LLMs, right? Because we were built on kind of multiple different agents all kind of running at the same time. Definitely, computing overhead would be a big piece of it. Do we have, how tokens, that kind of stuff? Like how do we serve it? I think would be a big part of it. I think also like I think the next biggest challenge would be helping people really understand what they're looking at. Would be a huge consideration because, and here's the thing, can you go back like 2 slides real fast? I just want to show the judge. So here, one more slide. So right here, we talk about fact checking, right? And like getting people to trust what we're doing and that the way that we're going about this is viewpoint neutral, I think is honestly the biggest challenge besides any technical challenge. Because, you know, again, it's a very hyper-political environment out there. So how do we get people to realize, like, hey, we're not trying to tell you what to think about, we're just trying to give you the tools to think for yourself. That would probably be the biggest challenge. Absolutely.
Anyone else?
Great job presenting. You might have had this, but is there a summarization, once you come back with the news and the context summary, is there additional data that you can provide the end user which is somewhat neutral based on the facts so they can actually understand from more of a neutrality perspective?
So yes, so there's a couple different ways we go about this, right? The first way is the summary, because the summary, the way the agent is prompted, is give me a no opinion, 2 to 3 sentence summary of the article that's viewpoint neutral. But then also, if you look, there's like the fact check, I think would be the other big piece of that. Is that you can click each one of those, the articles, oh hey, there it is. The articles are clickable. So you can actually go and look at the viewpoint. Don't just trust our word for it, right? You can actually go, and it summarizes, but it also gives links to each article with the viewpoint next to it. So you can kind of, it's the idea again, like I was telling the other judge, is to build trust. Because really, that's the biggest challenge in today's environment, is getting people to trust us and getting people to trust each other. So the idea, again, is to build conversations and not necessarily, tell people whether or not they're right or wrong.
Thank you. And if you've got questions for... Our next team is Digital Assets AI.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming in today to listen to our presentation. This is our project on digitalassets.ai.
My name's Kenny, and I am a second-year aerospace major here.
My name is John, and I'm a third-year comp sci student here at Cal Poly Pomona.
I'm Robbie Adriano, and I am a second-year mechanical engineer.
And I'm David Lam. I'm a third-year computer science major.
So our Databricks challenge that we were presented with was based on media and entertainment. And the goal was to develop an AI that was centered around streamlining content creation for ads and marketing. And this was a huge opportunity for our team because all of us have experience with editing videos. And we were excited to present this idea because we know just one problem that every single video editor runs into when they're creating videos. And so what is that problem? It's the countless hours that editors spend searching for B-roll footage and sound effects. Now, this can take up hours and hours of time, and every single video editor that I know has run into this roadblock before. And so our solution is a dedicated AI assistant that will help save countless hours of your time and also improve the quality of the video that you are making. And the best part is that anyone can use it. Professionals can use it to save hours of time and to increase the quality of the video that they're creating. And beginners can use it to learn and generate their B-roll footage and sound effects.
So going into the features here, how it's going to work is that we have the fact that our AI will analyze your video timeline. And what I mean by this is that whatever you're editing on, whether it is DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Premiere, it will analyze the video timeline and evaluate your editing content and your editing style. And from this, it will generate tailored B-roll and tailored audio sound effects, audio clips, and video clips that fit with the topic of the video, and it's tailored to specific key moments in your footage and or your editing context as well. And on top of that as well, we have the fact that it can filter out non-DMCA and DMCA content. And what does this mean? It means that copyright, non-copyright, it will filter in through between filtering out videos that are copyrighted and non-copyrighted to save you that peace of mind. Next slide. So some things to consider is that, first of all, DMCA. And since we are a generative AI, we have to consider the fact that we want to make sure that this AI doesn't create similar content that flags as copyright. Secondly, a lot of stuff that will be filtered out through the internet that we will find when it's generating audio sound effects or videos is that a lot of it is filtered behind a paywall. And thirdly, you may be wondering, a lot of the stuff that we may do may impact jobs like post-production and sound design, but we assure you that this may only just enhance, not take away jobs. So you may be also wondering what makes us different from the competition. And here we have 3 different generative AIs. We have ImageBind and 11 Labs, which generate video and convert it to sound effects. Like, for example, you can input an image of a lion and it'll give out a sound effect of a lion roaring or something. And then Shazam, it's basically a song tracker. So what makes us different is that our AI plans to read based off of editing context. And we're not just some asset recognition or asset creation AI, we're actually tailored to actual editor behavior.
Okay, so for the short demo, I didn't attend the Databricks walkthrough earlier, but I took my own path. So using the Databricks platform and the VG Sound dataset from the University of Oxford, I can show you guys a glimpse of what our AI can do. So to start, I used the Databricks Playground environment where I can choose a model to train our data with. And in this environment, you could prompt the model for a response and then export that response into a notebook where you're able to edit the code in order to make changes and to train our model. And then after executing the code, so it doesn't show here, but after executing the code, it returns an evaluation result on the bottom where it shows you the input, which is all the training data, as well as the model's response. And I did like multiple runs here, like you try to see on the top where there's multiple tabs. Those are the different evaluation results where it turns different responses. And one of the responses that you can see here is that I prompted the model for audio or sound that best fits beach setting, and is able to give me a response with like the different visual IDs, audio IDs, and is labeling that best fits my request.
All right, so what are some goals for our AI? Right. So some goals for our AI is to identify the video context and the editing style that you provide to us, and it will generate or search audio clips to your liking. In addition, if you have a specific idea you want to implement, we will have a prompt option to do so. And lastly, if our AI does not suit your liking, it will have a download link or link download for MP3 and MP4 files.
Well, it's not on here, but I wanted to talk about quickly market opportunity. So I guess you guys are all aware of social media and how it's growing at a rapid rate. By 2034, the creator economy is set to grow by $1.4 trillion. And as a business model with this AI, you can always just do a scalable software as a service model. How does like ChatGPT work with subscription-based services? So basically, that will be the basis for how we get this AI going in the market.
All right, so our AI...
You're out of time. Okay, fine.
So our AI is bound to create shockwaves within the media industry, whether you're just starting or an experienced pro. Our AI will guarantee results in any circumstances. So we basically turn an editing intuition into an AI masterpiece. With sound design, music, B-roll, you name it, it's all there. And it's tailored to your liking. So with digitalassets.ai, you're not just speeding up your workflow, but rather leveling up your storytelling. Thank you, everyone.
Any questions, judges?
Okay. I didn't understand from the demo, how did you evaluate if your solution is feasible? How your solution is feasible? How you can do it?
It's feasible?
Yeah. So how you can connect, how can you understand in which frame you have to connect that kind of sound? You show me the experiment, but how is feasible?
So with the data set I used, it's with structured data. So this is only training with like structured data, so it's supervised. It has like labeling on it. So the model is able to tell what kind of data it's processing and how does it relate to the context of my request or my prompt.
Okay, and have you, so because I can see the experiment here, but have you tested on one image? So like run the model on the image, I get the description, if he's able to get in the right, in the right frame, because you can have a mismatch between the sound and the video. Correct? So
yeah.
If you just, I understand if you evaluate, if it's not, it's okay. You have a really short time to do it, so.
Yeah, so like right here, it's supposed to display like the response of the model. This was supposed to be a video, but it's not playing right now. It's not playing, but it does show like, it does give me, in the data we use, there's like an audio ID,
Okay.
and there's also a labeling. So what the response will give us back to us is the audio ID as well as the labeling, and you can see from the labeling that there's like bubbles crashing, waves on the shores. There's all the different labeling you could see connected to the
Okay,
beach.
okay, got it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it was really innovative idea. Yeah,
That
thank
was
you.
2 questions. We got to move it along, Murdad.
Great job, team. So you've talked about the copyright issues and possibly the way that your solution, the product you're producing, would be kind of aligning with the copyright rules. But there are, of course, differences in terms of where that product would be used, right? If you're uploading on certain platform, it's going to be used in Europe or US, or where that product would be used. Have you thought about the implementation of the solution based on the location of the user or based on the way the marketing product would be used?
So I didn't talk about that in the presentation, but assumably, if we're based on location, we can always grab their IP-based services. Basically, if it's based on location, you can always just grab the users where they are, like their IP, like their general location, and then you can probably base the results based on what you get. So let's say, for example, if you find that this person's based in the UK, you can obviously, and they're using our services, then they'll probably feed a list of results that are tailored to them, which means that there are probably a lot of songs that are copyrighted or not usable in the UK, so then that will probably show in what they're seeing.
Thank you.
All right, let's have a round of applause for our 3 finalists. And now I'd like to ask the judges to deliberate, and then they're going to award 3rd, 2nd, and 1st prizes for this Databricks challenge. And there's not a prize that they're physically giving them because Databricks is giving them cash, and it's going to be provided via email. Great, good luck deciding. We have results. 3rd place, you guys come on up too. 3rd place prize goes to Digital Asset AI. Come on up and we'll take your picture with the judges.
I don't know which side. to an email if you want to log into email instead.
Second place prize goes to News in Context. And I think we know first place. Intelligent healthcare billing. Could the judges for the AI Hackathon, which is about to begin, please come up and take a seat?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Let's continue with the hackathon. We are now in the general categories, and for the general categories, we are happy and honored to have the judges here. We have Rob Leach from Microsoft, Jason James, Isaka, Orange County, Johan Sacosta from Splunk, and Molly Strong from Curiosity Current? AYTM. Okay, well, thank you very much for being here and judging our presentations. We're going to start with the first category. We have 3 categories today. The first category is Future of Education, and the first group is ADIST, AI-driven interactive system for transparent learning. So please go ahead.
Hello, today I am presenting Project ADIS, our solution to the AI policy and learning by doing classes for Team MAME, no pain, no gain. We know that the use of AI is inevitable, so learning must remain our priority. Our application focuses on enhancing learning by doing while emphasizing transparency and human growth for an AI that learns with you and not for you. Why this matters. Our problem is that current AI tools lack transparency and fail to prioritize educators and authentic learning. AI's growing role in education, like the California State University's announcement of a major public-private AI initiative on February 2nd, 2024, is an example of this. Our solution blends AI assistance with human learning while tracking contributions and adapting to diverse learning styles. Some problems that we see here that our solution has these: responsible AI use, structured reflections, streamlined workflow, student engagement, and personalized learning.
So ADIS actually allows the student to select their assignment type and their class type, which will provide them with a personalized learning resources, which would actually be designed by the educator and AI to basically provide them with the focus of resources they need to learn for their program. And we have adaptive learning, which basically ensures that the students, because we know that each different student, they have the different learning, we know that each student actually learns differently, so we try to make sure that they can focus more on their weak points. So they ensure that students actually keep on learning until they can move on to advanced topics. All right, so with ADIS, we also allow the students to be able to select their learning styles, which basically provide them with like personalized resources which can actually best suit their needs. Next slide. And for the different learning styles, we have visual learners who learn best with images, videos, and with charts. And we have auditory learners who prefer to learn with like discussions, verbal communication with like other students as well. And we have people who learn with reading and writing, who prefer to using test books and like no reflections as well. And we have kinesthetic learners who prefer hand-on experiences when it comes to learning.
Central to our design, we have the main idea called IDEA, which stands for Input, Design, Learning, Extend, Elaborate, and Assess. Here we have input, where professor inputs the learning goal and objectives. The pros to this are eliminating the time spent assigning homework, so more time can be effectively dedicated to providing feedback to students, ultimately making learning more goal-oriented. Next is design, where adaptive templates and assistants are based on teachers' input of assignment directions. This converts learning goals into a series of questions or activities that are applicable to real-life solutions, rather than just a problem in a textbook. The pros to this is that we can also deploy dynamic activities based on learning goals, student majors, or career paths. Here we have extend and elaborate. Students are required to provide a reflection to demonstrate what they have learned, so that instead of providing answers, ADIS will continuously prompt the students to think critically and ask questions like, how would you begin, or what are your thoughts? After completing the assigned questions or activities, students will be required to elaborate on their learning process, reflecting on their understanding and insights gained. This leads us to the last portion, which is assess, where all AI and human contributions are tracked in order to have a transparent model. The professor will grade students based on their ability to extend and elaborate on their responses rather than simply just completing an assignment. The professor will be able to monitor students' interactions within their own ADIS dashboard.
As AI usage in education increases, so do concerns around areas such as academic integrity, responsible use, and data privacy. We are fully aware of these concerns and are working to address them in our project. Our AI assistant tracks user and AI contributions to ensure academic integrity, manages secure user data with strict privacy protocols, and supports institutional compliance by allowing educators to set their own AI use policies, all while maintaining a flexible and effective educational environment. Regarding our business case, the edtech market has grown significantly in recent years and is currently valued at over $250 billion as of early 2025. There is clear demand for AI tools that promote learn-by-doing behaviors in an effective and responsible manner. ADIS is a solution unlike any on the market, connecting both educators and students with personalized AI tools that are built from the ground up to promote academic growth. And we believe ADIS is a very powerful learning tool that should be accessible to all students, no matter their circumstances. Access will be facilitated by a bulk licensing model where institutions can purchase access for faculty and students. This provides our operation with stable and recurring revenue. We will support integration of ADIS into learning management systems such as Canvas for ease of use. Regarding scalability, ADIS can be adapted to the needs of any educational institution at any level and anywhere in the world. It is also applicable to professional and workforce training, which allows us to branch out into new partnerships and emerging markets. Thank you.
Great job, really like it. Obviously, this is a pretty crowded space because there's so much market opportunity. What do you see as the key differentiator for ADIS compared to some of the other solutions that may be out in the market?
I think our focus here is really talking about the adaptive learning paths. A lot of AI is used to just help people learn or give answers for us, and ours is to help people learn. So our focus on learning actually goes beyond just giving answers and responses. It's more of like an assistant to help you along the way of learning, and the assessment part specifically is really where we focus on the reason that they actually did learn in the end, instead of just an assistant or giving back answers. So I think that's what differentiates us, is our commitment to actually learning and realistic goals for us.
Great, thank you.
Just one quick question. I know you might have covered it, the prevention of plagiarism. Did you have that built into somewhere? There was quite a few slides and it went quick.
So that's what we have for contribution tracking. That's one of our biggest portions of this, where it tracks and distinguishes between the user and AI-generated content, so therefore there cannot be plagiarism. A student must stay within this segment of their education, like it's that deployment of it, and they need to be tracked every single time any AI would help you. The teacher will see that within their dashboard, so the teacher would necessarily know exactly where AI was used versus exactly what the student put input for themselves. So therefore, we wouldn't have plagiarism based on AI. There will always be plagiarism, of course, with other students and things like that, but this ensures that a student is going through the process dynamically, and we know what is AI and what is the student's.
Hi, everyone. Would you all say that education plays an important role in our society today? A good education system means a smarter population with smarter ideas. These smarter ideas become innovative concepts and inventions, pushing society forward as a whole. Our group recognizes the importance of education, which is why for this hackathon, we sought to work towards one of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, goals that improve life on our planet, one of them being access to quality education. To better demonstrate the flaws of today's education system, take a look at this scenario. A K-12 teacher is responsible for the success of 100 students total, 5 classes of 20. On top of designing a general lesson plan for all students, some students require special attention outside of the classroom. This teacher must also grade their students' work and wants to provide meaningful feedback for each and every error on all assignments for each student. Although they're trying their best, this teacher is feeling overwhelmed due to this heavy workload, and they feel they cannot provide all 100 students with the help they all specifically need. In turn, the students are unable to reach their teacher outside the lecture because the teacher is so overworked. So we seek to answer the question, how can AI be used to solve this problem?
Okay, so some education challenges that exist today are the high amount of workload that educators and teachers have to constantly face, like lesson planning and assignment grading. Additionally, students at times can feel a lack of personal support as they feel hindered and restricted by a one-size-fits-all type of learning style, which doesn't really cater to their individual needs. So how can AI be used to assist and solve these issues? Well, for one, a powerful adaptive AI solution could automate repetitive tasks like assignment creation and grading. Additionally, it could be used to identify student strengths and weaknesses, which can be used to tailor specific lessons to those individual aspects, and it would just really enhance efficiency and engagement among teachers and students. So our solution is AITA, and what is AITA? It would be a virtual assistant integrated directly within Canvas, and it will work alongside instructors, teachers, and students as a support tool, as it is not meant to be a permanent replacement for teachers. It would also be accessible to students right after their immediate enrollment within Canvas. This means that there would be no extra applications or other system requirements that would need to be used for using AITA. And why would it be valuable? It would be valuable because of the increase in student engagement, as it would offer both instant personalized support and feedback, as it would operate on a 24/7 hour basis to help support students and make sure they're on track, as well as ensuring that for students who need additional support outside of classroom hours, it could rely on AITA. It would also be useful in identifying when students are struggling early, as it would provide different performance analytics so that instructors could intervene when a student begins to fall off track. It would also be cost-effective and scalable, as it would save time and resources by automating repetitive tasks, as well as being able to scale across different grade levels and subjects alike.
This is the AI teacher assistant. So this is how the benefits and the highlights that it brings for the teachers. It has teacher control and customization, which is direct AI training that the teacher provides all the data to feed into the AI. And it has continuous feedback where the teacher refines the AI accuracy and reviews and corrects any outputs that are given. It also has custom preferences where the educators set AI behavior rules and align it with the classroom standards. And it has a full oversight with teachers can review, adjust, and override AI suggestions at any time. And the main functions of the AI are the automatic grading, where it grades quizzes, assignments, and discussions directly on Canvas, taking off some of the workload off the teachers. Lesson planning, which suggests lesson plans and uploads materials to the Canvas modules. And it has student progress analytics, where it highlights any struggling students ahead of time, so it's not way too late, and it gets a higher increase on students passing the classes that they're taking, which is K-12. And it also has administrative support, where it has automated sending announcements, reminders, and manages schedules within Canvas. And this is the AI teacher assistant student. This is the student side of things. It enhances the student learning experience by having 24/7 personalized support, where the students receive immediate assistance with homework, assignments, or study topics at any time. So if a student is struggling in math, like late at night, and they cannot get a hold of the teacher's assistant is going to be there. The AI teacher assistant is going to be there to help them out. And has teacher-aligned guidance, responses, and supports aligned directly with your teacher's specific instructional style and class content. And it also has adaptive learning. AI TA tailors explanations and assistance based on the student's unique learning pace, and strengthens their understanding of key concepts. It also has a consistency of clarity, and students get a clear, consistent guidance that reflects exactly what the teacher expects them to learn.
In terms of financial aspects and considerations for AITA, regarding licensing models and partnerships, AITA has the potential to be offered as a premium add-on integrated within Canvas, and furthermore with other LMS providers such as Canvas and Blackboard with seamless integration. Regarding compliance, AITA will meet university data privacy standards such as FERPA in the US, the US Student Data Protection Standards, and GDPR for the European Union Personal Data Information Protection, as we understand that LMS providers are available globally, and there are different standards and regulations to meet. And also AITA will be scalable and reducing grading and admin workload, and cost-effective, saving time and labor costs. As for feasibility, there's a high demand for AI in educational technology, as AI is increasingly becoming incorporated into many educational programs. And with that comes many concerns, such as content bias, where there could be misleading information based on how the data is trained. Data privacy concerns, as we mentioned before, with the regulations of educational programs. And educator oversight and transparency in how they guide their AITA. And so in order to validate these concerns, the AITA will be trained on diverse and inclusive data sets. We'll be compliant with regulations as stated before, and the AI is mainly only to assist educators and provide clear explanations for generated content for trust and accountability.
Looking back at that scenario.
Along, you're over the time. Wrap it up. 10 seconds.
That same teacher from earlier, they use AITA, they can successfully manage their 100 students, and the students can interact with the AI when the teacher is not available. For those reasons, we believe that AITA will ensure better quality education for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Guys, I'm on. Hi guys, wonderful job, well done. It's very impressive to already get on the stage and do a presentation in front of us. I know it can be pretty stressful, so well done. My question is, what is your market approach to Canvas and Blackboard? Those two are huge players in the space. What would be your argument for why you are better than potentially them developing their own AI tool, or I'm sure looking at other competitors?
Well, the argument for being better than current AI tools is that, let's say a student needs help on a question and they go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will give them basically the whole internet's worth of data to sift from and may generate an incorrect response, whereas our AITA is trained specifically on course material designed through K through 12. And K through 12 material it's pretty standardized, so it's less likely to generate an incorrect response and will generate a response that's more in line with K through 12 standards.
I could add on to that. So it'd be more like modular based on each subject that you're doing. So if you're doing like biology, then you could input all the information like for biology with that like whatever textbook they're gonna be on. I could feed that into the AI. So if they're in that biology class, then it'll just be for biology questions, like anything they have on that assignment. And if it's like math, then they could fit in the textbook for that. And so it's not generative AI. It's more like modular on that base.
Hello. Great job. I liked how you kind of curated it for different user personas. I think that's very big in like the AI space, being able to really understand your users, right? I think one question I did have is, so if this tool is going to help grade, right, where's the explainability or human in the loop aspect or way to really monitor, right? So if you have a agentic systems that's grading student, reports or homework assignments, how are you going to monitor and be able to safeguard or have guardrails to ensure that it's doing a proper job or it's abiding by a rubric? What are some thoughts there?
The goal is that eventually the AITA will become so self-sufficient that it rarely generates incorrect material, which is obviously a very hard task. I would say if this were implemented today, it would be more feasible to have a team like IT or something like that to monitor its output. It's also up to the instructor to feed AITA with relevant course material, which already will dumb down the responses that it could give, because when it's trained on more standardized material, then it's less likely to generate an incorrect response.
So much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next team is Reviewer Pro.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us at the Artificial Intelligence Fair and as Hackathon finalists. We are the Pixel Pioneers representing Rebuttal Bro. I would first like to introduce my team. My name is Chris Anongnuch.
I'm Adi Kalra.
I'm Ryan Page.
I'm Esteban Rivera.
And I'm Archer Brayton.
No matter who you are, there's always room for improvement when public speaking or debating. However, we always got you covered.
Okay, so I would like to formally introduce you guys to Rebuttal Bro. So Rebuttal Bro is a personalized AI coach that provides real-time feedback and analytics. So whether you're a student, a lawyer, or just someone looking to refine your speech skills, Rebuttal Bro is here to help. Today we'll cover 4 key areas. We'll first start off with our problem and mission statement, our app's features and design, how AI will be used, and finally, our business model. So not everyone feels comfortable speaking, so this can lead many students to feel stressed or worried. So traditional classrooms don't always provide a low-pressure space to practice, so we believe this can lead many students to feel unprepared. So our mission is to create an AI-powered debate coach that helps build confidence, critical thinking, and articulation. Rebuttal Bro is here to help anytime, anywhere.
So here's a look at the home screen for Rebuttal Bro. The app design is meant to feel sleek, intuitive, and supportive, like a coach that is with you 24/7. You can see key actions here like start live coaching, practice drills, and analytics right on the home screen. We've also included progress bars to help students keep track of their progress. Overall, the design reflects our mission to make debating feel fun, empowering, and accessible for everyone. Okay, so our first feature is the AI debate coach. Users can input any topic and debate with an AI in real time using, you can turn your microphone and camera on. You can adjust the difficulty from easy to hard and also can choose what type of audience you're speaking to. So if I want to speak to a friend, a peer, or a mentor, or someone who's really knowledgeable in that field. As you speak, the AI gives live feedback on stuff like how filler words, so how many uhs, ums, and buts, or persuasiveness and argument structure. It's like having an AI debate coach in your pocket, available anytime, anywhere you want to practice. So our second feature is the AI community debate. This is where users can engage with real opponents or AI-generated opponents. We use matchmaking logic to pair users based on topic interest, skill level, and previous performance. The best part, AI moderation ensures that every debate remains respectful and on topic, creating a safe, inclusive, and space to grow. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced speaker, this feature gives you real opponents to sharpen your skills with.
Thank you, Adi. Now I'm going to be going over our third and last feature, AI debate analytics. On the right, we have an AI-generated image concept of how the feature would look in the app. It's meant to emphasize its ease of use for users. Some of the key elements AI will provide analytics for are effectiveness of tone, use of filler words, emotional persuasiveness, and the strength of the argument. In addition, this feature will compare analytics of previous and current data to illustrate progress users are making. Next, that brings us to how the AI will be used in the app. For this, there will be 4 key ways AI will be integrated into the app. Firstly, AI will be used to give real-time feedback to users so that way they can receive feedback on the strength of their argument. Secondly, it will be used to analyze the user's actions. It will use video content analysis to analyze video and give users an assessment on their tone and their nonverbal aspects, such as their facial expressions and body language. Thirdly, it will connect users to an AI opponent to simulate a real debate. This AI will learn over time in order to provide a better response to users. Lastly, AI will be used to generate easy to understand charts based off user data, allowing users to make improvements and track their progress. That concludes the implementation of AI in our app. Next, I'll pass it on to Archer.
Thank you. How are y'all doing? I'm here to talk about the business model with you. So our app is going to be using a freemium business model. Basically, we're going to be giving the free AI breakdowns, but only for a limited amount of information. So you're not going to get all the filler words and the tone analysis, but you're going to get the basic analytics about how you're debating, right? And then you're also going to get the AI community debates always, anytime. We want to encourage people to talk to each other. I mean, it goes away so much nowadays. So for our upgraded version, this is where colleges around the world or businesses around the world can pay for our premium app. It's going to be giving you advanced coaching That's the tone analysis of like the structure of your words, how you can improve. It's going to give you a dashboard for the student's progress, or let's say it's for your like your subordinate's progress at work. Like if you have a team working for you that needs to create a presentation and they're all practicing, they can all submit their pieces of a presentation, kind of like how we did for this. So yeah, thank you guys for letting us present to you. I'd like to end it off by just saying that this app it started out with us thinking about, oh, we're just going to use it for law students. And then it kind of grew into like, oh, everyone can use this. Politicians, anyone giving a presentation like I am right now. I would have loved to have this app 5 minutes ago. Any of you guys using it for any of your big old CEO talks, talking with your shareholders, your stakeholders, anyone can use it in business. Every single team in here could have used this today. And so, you know, it's a pretty cool thing. Thank you, guys.
Guys, very well done. Great presentation. I really enjoyed it. Congratulations on being a finalist here today. You just mentioned, this is funny, I was thinking about this before you even mentioned it, how everyone can use this tool, which is fantastic. But oftentimes when you start a business and your target audience is everyone, you can get a little bit of business pneumonia, and it can be difficult to know which consumer market you're going to try and go after. If you guys were to say, what is the strongest market that you wanted to go after first, and potentially what would be your strategy with them?
So the strongest market, well, not the strongest, I would say that the market I would want to go after first is the students around the world. I mean, like I said just briefly earlier, we're losing a lot of that personal face-to-face communication, especially with COVID happening and then coming back from it. So many people want to stay at home from work, stay at home online doing school, and having people be able to at least sit down and like do a face-to-face debate or learning, even if it's over the Zoom and whatnot. I think that's very important. How we break through into that like category, I mean, as far as I know, most people, like professors and stuff, are probably just setting up Zooms and having the kids record each other debating. We'd be basically offering a new product to an entire market that hasn't been broken into.
Great answer.
You did talk a little bit about integrating it into schools. Have you thought about what it would take to make this part of the curriculum as a curriculum subject, or as part of a class?
I wouldn't really say it would have to ever be a curriculum requirement. I mean, this is one of those things where, like, currently I work at Dutch Bros, right? And I'm training a few different new hires. And we have an app through Dutch Bros that has lots of practice tests, lots of just information about events in the company and the history, previously offered drinks we're offering in the future, right? And in that, we can do a practice test for the big test they have to take before they're officially a barista. None of them have to do a practice test. None of them have to put in the extra effort and go the extra mile. But this is one of those things where if you want to like go the extra mile in your schooling, in your debating, you want to get really good at something, this is going to be for you. It shouldn't need to be a requirement to study or anything. If professors want to have their kids go the extra mile and do it, they can do it. And if they don't, if they just want to watch recorded Zooms, they can also do that. It's up to them.
Much. Thank you.
One more? One more? No, we can do another one.
You had a question?
Yeah, please.
Oh, go ahead.
Hello. Well, I was just going to say, for students or anyone, this is a great way to actually prepare for an interview. I do this all the time with ChatGPT. So I like that you added in a visual component for that, right, using computer vision. And if you really think about it, when has that ever happened for any of us? Like, when have we ever gotten feedback on how we're speaking or presenting? So I think it's a great tool. It's creating a solution that a lot of people have a problem to, and right now there's really no product that does that. So good job, guys.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
We're going to start now with the next category. It's the AI future. And the first group is Wayfinder. Okay, please. Please go ahead.
All right, good morning, everybody. We are Elevate, and we're here to present our concept, really our application, Wayfinder 2030. I'm Jay Tony. I'm going to be presenting with Tan Ha today. We also have Liana Ip, Sabrina Tony, Cindy Tran, and Francine Malimbi. Next slide. So our question was, looking at the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, there's 17, and the idea here is that we want to have these met by 2030. So we got 5 years left. One of the things that shocked us as we were doing our research into this area was that of the 17, many of them are not on track to be met by 2030. Even more surprising, many of them are actually regressing. So we're not only getting closer, we're getting further away. As we were exploring the space on the UN website, we found that the UN does possess over 8,000 documented solutions that are already being implemented or have been implemented in the past. Looking at the actual problem we're facing, we kind of saw the focus that AI could come in and be that accelerant that's needed to meet the 5-year goal, really. Going past a single solution, which is what the challenge called for, we saw a chance to come up with a concept that could encourage that rapid collaboration across the globe to do the best we can to meet that 5-year goal. You look at the manual method we were using was a perfect kind of sample for us to see how challenging it is, even with rapid internet connection, to actually sift through these documents that the UN is providing. It's very difficult to know exactly what you're looking for, to know exactly what these documents and these solutions that exist out there are actually in use for, and whether or not where they're implemented is even effective in the place that you're looking for it. Next slide. So we went and we started considering how AI could be effective in this solution. You got the traditional search engine method where it's a keyword. You get a single page of results. You have to manually sift through this. Where AI, on the other hand, is adapting to the context that you're giving it. It has the ability to go and search multiple sources of information and give you that synthesized form, interpolate between ideas that you wouldn't necessarily be able to see immediately on your own. The big benefit we also considered was considering the right infrastructure, it could be completely offline.
Hello? Okay, so our proposed solution will be creating a search engine model which is called Wayfinder 2030. And the data collection that we'll be using is the SDG action that we scraping from the UN website. And the SDG action provide resources, information, the contact information, and the geographic matching. And using this model will optimally help us to leverage the power of AI in a sense. So going to the structure on how we're building this model is there's two important components, is the semantic layer and the country similarity layers. In the semantic layer, we use text embedding, that embedding the solution database and then the user queries. And then when we match the user queries with the database, it's going to show the most similar result. And then on the second layers, it's going to filter down basing from the solution, and then it's going to filter down the similar countries based on the local context. So basically, if you from Brazil, and then the solution going from all around the world, right? And then when you adjust with the country similarity, it will adjust to your local region. And then after we have the top 3 solutions, we're going to have an open API that explaining like how this solution fit with your challenges or the user queries. And then we're going to show the resource, the timeline, and then the contact information. Here's a simple interface. So you're going to put down your home countries and then the challenges that you're facing. Under the advanced filter, it will filter down the countries that you want to localize. And here's the current output that we use. The solution, the challenge that we're using is water-based management, and then we're showing the top optimal solution basing from the matching, the embedding matching. And so some detail at your fingertip is that when we scrape the data from the UN website, we focusing on the entities, the deliverable, the resources, and then the contact information that the person is doing that solution.
So if we expand this from the proof of concept that we made and consider how would you get this out into the world to where it could make an impact, we think the most responsible way to do this would be to have this be completely controlled by the United Nations, presumably the least biased governing body on the planet, right? And that's really what we're focused on, is getting unbiased information into the hands of people who need it the most. So we see this being a satellite access, not internet-based, not necessarily that it couldn't be internet connected, but you'd get these systems into places that might not have internet access, but they'd still have that information through satellite access. Next slide. And then going past that, if you extended this into what AI could really do, you're planting global seeds everywhere, and as the users interact with it, it'll start learning based on the local needs and the regional needs, and start mapping out where these solutions are most needed, and how we can share that information more quickly. Essentially, as it's evolving and it starts to get faster at recognizing the problem and the solution, we accelerate some sort of convergence to solving all these sustainable development goals.
Your time is up. If you could please just wrap it up.
Oh, less later. So why does this really matter? What's the importance of this? Well, we can see that we're only 5 years away, and I think we've all been reminded how delicately balanced cooperation is across borders. This would be a way to bypass the need of bureaucracy and just get the information and the tools as widespread as possible. Local empowerment is really what we're driving at here. So Wayfinder 2030 is a global information solution to solve any of the sustainable development goals of the United Nations. Thank you.
Nice job. Could you talk just a little bit about maybe some of the financials and business model if you were to take this to market? What would that look like?
So for the financial aspect of it, it's going to be a project in collaboration with the United Nations, and they have their own budgets. And usually when they create projects around the world, they use the budget to source, call for requests for proposal, and et cetera. So the financial backup, we already have it. So it's more to get the solutions around the world, and actually it's gonna be a great way to control budgets as well, because usually when you send your people on the ground, you have costs related to transportation, logi, et cetera. So the funding will be coming from the United Nations.
Just to add on that a little bit too, I think something that we talked about as a team was when it comes to the financial aspect, one of the things that we know is kind of on the back burner for them or kind of in focus is like using Copilot and different kinds of companies like that with these kinds of methods. This would essentially be like a ground up, infrastructure that they could build themselves and then implement and share resources. So for us, it's more about sharing information because that's its own kind of resource. So we were more focused on that kind of element of it, and then the UN would kind of come in and obviously use their more powerful resources to build something that's a little bit more comprehensive. Like right now it's localized on the system that they built, but and that was just from web scraping alone. We realized after that they have so many database or data sets and stuff that we could have used. Granted, we only had 48 hours, but the web scraping itself was its own feat. So being able to do that with resources, with their actual data sets would have, it's gonna probably blow up into something bigger than that. But.
Well done, guys. Great job. And this is a huge issue worldwide. Sustainability is a massive undertaking. So well done, and well done for approaching this issue. And I understand there are a lot of nuances with this, but would your system offer any sort of implementation guidelines on any sort of the data resources that it finds, or is it purely just for information?
Well, I don't want to tell the UN how to do their job. I think that they're qualified to be serious about it. I think
Fair enough, though.
Yeah. No, the idea that we kept bumping into was, the accessibility of it is really the biggest deal to us. We make it this nice streamlined application that to us is intuitive to use, right? To somebody who is, intermittent internet access or no internet access at all, this is completely new. So one of the ideas we kind of approached just conceptualizing was the UN having the resources to, before they send these out, depending on the region they're sending it to, would be to have teams that are very familiar with the region come in and kind of develop a translation almost so that we can calibrate culturally the user interaction on the front end and the back end. So the core of the model will have the same embedded language that it's communicating with, but that translation of input and the translation of output is tuned to the specific cultural semantics that are so diverse across the planet. So that would be really an implementation idea that we have discussed, yes.
Another thing I just want to add. So we also saw this as a tool to kind of streamline the communication translation, not just through culture and language, but also through like socioeconomic status. Like I think it's very interesting when we were considering that the United Nations is at a certain level of, they don't have tier 1 needs not being met, like food, water, and stuff, but we're also discussing these issues as if we are, right? And I think that kind of translation issue is kind of what prevents information from funneling a lot quicker down or up from the people who need the help, and then back down from the people who have the resources to make that happen. So we see the tool as being something that can be implemented from the local level of like, we talked about the farmer who needs help with water, which is kind of what our solution was based on, was like, it's a farmer in Brazil, but they were given, resources and options in India and, all these different, and South Korea. And so it was based though on, economic factors that we don't get to see. And that's part of what the AI is doing, is to like bridge those gaps that maybe we're not seeing intuitively, that might work for people. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. We're moving to the next group. It's WeldWise, AI Adaptive Welding System, right? Please go ahead.
All right. Hello, we're Team Inforex, and did you know that about 500,000 people gets injured every single year from performing welding job? On top of that, about 1 billion get wasted on scrap material, incorrect welding. There is a 40% welder shortage projected to be by 20-30%. So the industry right now is facing a lot of the problems. The safety concerns is that there are a lot of regulations that prevent some of the injuries, but the nature of the job is just really hard to prevent. Okay, so our team is called WeldWise AI. Our solution consists of multi-modular model that's going to be able to automate a 60-degree freedom robot arm. There are currently a lot of companies in the industry who are working on the same problems, who are trying to make a fully autonomous welding machine. The problem is that a lot of the companies have one aspect of that and not the others. And the system itself, like the first automated robot arm was invented in 1960, and it's capable of performing welds in a circular motion. That kind of approach, first of all, it assumes perfect conditions of the welds. Second of all, a lot of the systems are very rigid, so they're not capable of adapting to different alloys, different types of welds, and the environmental conditions. So if you look at the schematic, you can have your welding system, you can have sensors that are going to collect the information from the welding machine, as well as the camera and the X-ray camera. All of that information is going to feed into the data hub that has the ML model. And you're going to have an UV server that's going to display all of that information for the staff members to see. And then you have a control module that's going to extract the parameters from the ML machine and then constantly modify the robot to improve the quality. And then for the model itself, what you have is done, you can collect the information from the cameras, again, from the sensors. You have to stack it up in early fusion. Then it's going to go through the CNN layers. It's going to extract all of those features that you want to have. It's going to be able to recognize the quality of the votes and then give it a score. And then all of that is going to have to go into a different model, the neural MPC model, essentially to be able to control it and for the model to consistently improve.
So we've prepared a video demo of the machine learning model that I and Nathan Wang developed together. My name's Alex Sana, and this is a quick demo showing what we came up with to demo today for you all.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Alex Sana. I am a fourth-year computer science student, and I was in charge of the back-end machine learning aspect of this project. I developed a YOLO V8 model that is capable of looking at pictures of welds and labeling them as good, bad, or defective. It is a straightforward model, and it is the foundational piece of what we will develop to be an automated welding system that will... Thank you so much for your time. This is some brief scroll through of the code, how we trained it, and the architecture itself.
Hi, my name is Nathan Wang, and I was the one responsible for developing the front-end side for our project here. So with this dashboard, we are able to keep track of all the devices and to edit and to view all the data pertaining to it. So on the right, we have the devices themselves, and if we go ahead and select one of them, this one is currently welding, and right here is the information that has to do with the weld itself. This is important information that will ensure the quality of the weld. Now, another way we can ensure the quality of the weld is by using the convolutional neural network that Alex has developed for us. And so to demonstrate how it works, we can simply input an image here, and it'll go through the model, and it will tell us whether the weld is good or not. Now, here's another example, and one more example for good measure. And there we go. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, coders. I'll take it from here. So I am a supply chain major, and my team told me to make it more scalable and affordable. So yes, welcome to the business world. Here we have cost. So we have sensors, cameras, prototype cost, the scale cost, and we are going to source all the materials from different countries like Germany, China, India, Mexico. Our delivery would be 30 days by the sea route. What metrics we bring on the table is the energy we're going to save by 20%, waste by 30%, and labor by 50%. This market is a $20 billion industry, and it's growing 10% every year. Who are we targeting? Our industries will be automotive, aerospace, heavy machinery, and construction. We have 2 experts coming up to us for this project, and we are gaining momentum. It's going to transfer to research, development, universities, laboratories for new welding technologies. What's for the future? It's predictive maintenance. It's going to help to track the equipment's wear and tear and prevent the failures. Material learning. System improves as it encounters new alloys and weld configurations. Data sharing, most critical. It's going to improve the consistency worldwide. And finally, honoring the traditions will make sure the knowledge of generations continues to thrive in this modern tech world. Judges, this is a game changer. It's going to save life, cost, and the industry. Let's scale it together. Thank you.
Hey guys, great job. I don't know a ton about welding, but my brother does, and I'm definitely going to tell him about this later. Just a quick clarifying question. I think the answer is yes, but I'd just like to hear it from you guys. Are you guys selling the technology to existing weld robots, or are you wanting to introduce a weld robot of your own with the technology implemented?
So that would be, we would have to sell the robot as well, because we're also going to, the way that you would set up the system, we would have to reinvent it, yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, I haven't done a lot of welding, but I do race cars, and I know that there's a lot of welding involved in keeping a car together. But I think of the larger practical applications that the industry, such as shipbuilding and other, is this scalable up to larger applications, or is this really designed for sort of modular, production lines like car building?
Yeah, so because it's a modular model, you can totally scale it up to different industry sizes. But then for bigger industries, I would say it's more of mechanical problem, because you already have, for example, spot welding. It's fully automated. You have, for example, 2 sheets just traveling on the conveyor belt, and the robot arm automatically spots it. Yeah, so with this model, you can make it work with that system as well, but it's more of like mechanical problem than
so
software.
the aspect of validating the integrity of a weld, is that separate to the actual welding itself? Could you take the accuracy piece separate it and use that for another industry?
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay. Yeah, you have some layers to extract, for example, kind of like the path detection to recognize the environment, and then other layers are going to be responsible for doing like the image detection, as in the case like the quality of the weld itself. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you have another question.
Just one quick question, and maybe we can talk during break. How did you come up with this idea? Because I've never, it's pretty crazy and awesome. And my son actually is in sheet metal, so yeah. I'm going to talk to him about this tonight. But where did it come from?
So I'm a mechanical engineering major, so I had to take a welding class, or not a welding class specifically, but like kind of manufacturing class where I learned a little bit about welding. I already knew about all the problems that exist in the industry, so the next step was just like, okay, like how would you solve it with AI? Okay, automatic robot, here you are.
Okay, very good, thank you so much. So we're going to the last presentation of the AI future category, clean energy solution.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nico Moran, and I am here with
Armania Khan.
And we're presenting for AI Hackathon for a Better Future. Our topic is solar power and efficiency, covering UN Department 7-3-1, solar power and clean energy. So to get into it, we're going to start off on why electricity is important. So electricity is sort of the backbone in every field. It's used everywhere, and it fuels economic growth in our country.
Electricity is mostly generated from nuclear energy, fossil fuels, natural gases, petroleum, etc. And we rely on a grid infrastructure to deliver this electricity from those fossil fuels and all those energy sources to maintain efficiency.
The primary challenge that we faced. So some of the existing grid systems that we have in our country and around the world, to be honest, are reaching the end of their lives, and they're very costly to replace. Most of them run currently on fossil and nuclear energy, and so when we go about replacing them, we want to look for a greener future, replacing them with clean energy. And that's when we look to solar.
Our goal is for an AI-powered optimization for clean energy infrastructure planning. AI-powered for optimization for clean energy. We use AI to analyze climate data, geography, to find high potential areas for clean energy generators, and we aim to replace or supplement unhealthy and high-risk energy facilities with optimized clean alternatives.
Our project aims to use AI to identify optimal locations for our solar panel, and we'll get into it later, but we'll talk about wind and geothermal as well. So first, I would like to get into GDP. GDP is very important when analyzing the potential locations of solar power, because if it's not economically viable, we might as well not put anything there. This is a graph that I made that disperses GDP via latitude and longitude. As we can see, around 30 latitude, the US is a little bit of an outlier. However, it is important to note that GDP is not evenly dispersed around the world. Converting the previous graph into a matrix, this demonstrates the hotspots of GDP around the world. The United States and China hold an unholy amount of GDP comparatively to the rest of the world, holding about 50% of all of the GDP just between the two of them. The potential of solar energy. To start off, looking into the solar power efficiency, I did research into determining how temperature affects solar panels. As you can see by the graph, as temperature increases to about 50, 60 degrees Celsius above the external temperatures, the efficiency starts to decline. This will become important when determining where to place our solar panels. This graph on the right here shows temperature and solar efficiency across the countries. This is taking in solar radiance data and weighing it against temperature data to determine the efficiency of each country. I also, on the graph to the, or sort of the table to the left, I weighted it against GDP. So while the US may not have the greatest solar efficiency, having the greatest GDP puts it at the top of most of the lists. As of current, the solar farm solar potential of the top 20 countries are shown. China, as of current, holds about 50% of the solar farm capacity of the world. This data was gathered through NASA. I took solar irradiance data, distributed across latitudes, and made this normal distribution. Getting into our AI integration, Armand will take it.
Hello, everyone. So for our model, we used an LLM, a neural net, and Databricks to help us create an accurate model. And if you look here, if we're trying to find monthly how much energy we could generate monthly from a solar panel, or how many solar panels you would like, you could see that you have an input for a city that we chose like a high GDP country like the United States, and we have Pomona, and we could choose a number of solar panels. And what happens here is that that city gets put into an LLM. That LLM finds the latitude and longitude for that city. And then that latitude and longitude then gets put into a NASA API that finds an accurate amount of solar irradiance, or how much power hits the surface on average per year. It also finds the amount of temperature that hits the surface per year. And if you look here, this is the LLM I used to help me find latitude and longitude. And for this equation to find energy, I took the irradiance, or how much energy is hitting the Earth on average in that range of latitude and longitude, multiplying that by the panel area, which I had predetermined as 1.94, because that's why I determined it was a panel size that could be bought commercially. And then we have adjusted efficiency, which takes into factor the temperature. If it's too high, the efficiency will go down. And then multiply that by the number of panels, and then multiply that times 30 to get a daily average into a monthly total. And if you look here, we could see that in Pomona, we have a 5.77 kilowatts per hour hitting Earth's surface on average, an average temperature of 17 degrees Celsius, an estimated monthly output of 772 kilowatts per month for 10 solar panels. And what we could do with this information is we could find, we could give this information to companies or people interested in looking for solar panels and for an investment.
We also decided to tap into the potential of wind energy as well. So via, I guess, almost assumption, as the size of a turbine increases, we found that the capacity for output also increases. We also looked at wind data across different states and even countries to determine how much we can cut back on fossil fuel usage via wind energy. Next of the couple of steps that we can take in our process is diving further into wind energy, water energy, and geothermal to pilot new results and simulations for even smaller regions and more precise results. Thank you so much.
Great job. I love it. I guess to begin, a quick question I had, though, is how do you correlate economic viability to GDP? I think I missed that.
Can you repeat that last part?
So I think you had a figure looking at GDP to see if it was economically viable to introduce solar panels. Why that metric? Why GDP? Why not, the cost of solar panels or something else?
I mean, the cost of solar panels is going to be directly input into the GDP of the area. If a country has higher economic potential, they would be able to cover the costs of solar panels, assuming that a solar panel has an average cost worldwide.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you look at China, right, the reason why China has so much solar is just because of the cost. They're the main producers of it. But overall, I think this is a good way to analyze the problem, right? really use AI to gain some insights on where it might be useful to use geothermal or solar. And it is a big problem. Our energy grid system needs to be updated. We're behind China, right? So we need to catch up. But good job, guys.
Thank you.
Did you take into account land cost? You know, because solar farms are really big, and it's funny how many of them are south of Palm Springs. You know, even though that is incredibly hot, which would, in your model, you know, implied a deficient sort of location. But I guess it's the land cost that made that appealing to them.
To specify, temperature is not a direct correlation of solar panel efficiency. So even areas that are hot, like Palm Springs, that might have expensive land, they might not be solar efficient because either their sunlight isn't like as potent almost via solar irradiance data as some place like Saudi Arabia, which was a lot higher on our list. Same with India and Brazil, I believe. But you wanted to answer that. He's asking about land cost.
Land cost, I tried my best to find it on Google Earth, but I mean, with my research, I couldn't find any optimal way of finding it. I could find out how much panel area it would take by multiplying the area from a solar panel, multiplying the amount of panels we want, but I couldn't find any way to accurately find open land.
Is there any, do the existing solar farms, do they provide any information that you can access?
Not that I couldn't find anything like that, no.
That's really good, thank you. I really like this.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good job. And now we're going to move on to the last category, future of business. The first one is food consumption management.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. We are Team 13, and this is our AI Hackathon project, food consumption management. My name is Anthony Zaragoza.
And I'm Gabriel Casas.
My name is David Kim. All right. One of the problems, the 17 goals that humanity is aimed to solve by the year 2050, has a lot of problems that we cannot solve right away. And my team broke down those questions to the level where we can actually take action right now and solve it. And we believe that by starting from the lower scale, like city and state level, we can eventually go up to the nationwide and eventually global-wide. And to write the beginning of our story, our mission statement is to leverage AI-driven solutions to promote responsible production and consumption of food, reducing food waste. To start with our problems, we have, first, massive food waste in the United States. Americans waste on average 92 billion pounds of food annually. And this is equivalent to 145 billion meals. That is a lot. And we should start solving our problem before we go into global scale. And home waste. Individual households usually don't care enough to calculate the amount of food that they buy and they waste. We don't have anything that calculates it for us. And overproduction generally. We produce way too much food for our average consumption follow-up in our America. And as I said in the part 2, lack of real-time data makes us vulnerable to these problems of overproduction and little consumption.
Our solution: to develop an AI model that calculates the necessary amount of food needed to sustain the national average while also helping individual households determine their grocery needs based on their average consumption and waste, recognizing that perfect balance between production and consumption is impossible. We will also introduce a legislative policy to encourage the adoption of this model, promoting sustainability and food security.
So this is our MVP. Our MVP, boiled down, is AI integrated software with an app that connects the two to manage food. So at the very top, our AI smart food management system helps users efficiently track, organize, and reduce food waste through a combination of sensors, automation, and a mobile app. So our core features: this is our mobile app. It syncs data from all sensors to provide an up-to-date inventory. In addition, it sends notifications for low stock expiration warnings, and food waste insights. Smart home integration. This will include RFID sensors or weight sensors, and it will automatically detect when food items are added or removed. This helps maintain an accurate inventory without manual input. It's really helpful. It also supports voice assistants, such as Alexa, Google, or Siri, whatever you want. And going back to sensors, we're gonna have pantry sensors and trash bin sensors to monitor the stock and also the waste as well. And some really cool additional features as well. It's gonna have recipe and repurpose suggestions. That could include using the available ingredients in your refrigerator to generate meal ideas. And additionally, it's also gonna recommend ways to repurpose food, such as composting, crafts, food banks, etc. So in essence, we wanna reduce food waste and add more value to all this food that we have.
Impact. The most immediate impact would be on food waste. Households in the US throw out roughly 630 pounds of food per year, about 1.7 pounds daily. An AI tracker could cut this down significantly depending on how well it is used. Money-wise, the savings stack up fast. The average American family spends around $1,500 to $2,000 a year on groceries they don't eat, about 20 to 25% of their food budget.
Business and ethical validation. Our AI Smart solution addresses pain points related to food tracking, food waste reduction, and cost reduction. So market vitality, starting with household demand. This is gonna help families track food inventory efficiently, reducing food waste and saving money. Now, corporate demand. This will help restaurants, cafeterias, and catering businesses to optimize inventory management, reducing spoilage and operational costs. And also sustainability impact. This is a big one nowadays. Sustainable food production practices align with growing consumer demand for eco-friendly solutions. And this also supports global sustainability goals, such as the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. Moving on to policy regulations, ethics. Starting with food waste reduction policies. Our product complies with national and international food waste and reduction initiatives, such as the EPA Food Recovery Hierarchy or the EU Farm to Fork Strategy. Next, we have data privacy and security regulations. So our system does collect data from households regarding their food. Refrigerators, trash, we understand. It could get personal, but our system will comply with data protection laws such as GDPR Europe and CCPA California when collecting user data. And it's going to ensure secure data handling practices to protect user information. And lastly, sustainability and environmental regulations. This encourages responsible food consumption and production by tracking and reducing waste. And just to even expand on this, I personally work at a farm, and a lot of food goes wasted because it either doesn't meet market standards or some way along the food chain, something goes wrong. So if we could fix this food production and consumption, if we could communicate that data all the way up to the producers, this is gonna help farmers like us not waste so much food or overproduce, underproduce, what have you. Meet the market demand so that we're producing where food is needed.
Please, wrap it up. Your time is up. Just wrap it up.
I have something to add. So I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Hackathon fair that's going on right now, but there is our 3rd grade in our school called Calisi, and he has a model called Expressi, which takes a picture of whatever ingredients you have in your fridge or anything, and it can generate a recipe for you to cook or with that ingredient. And I think that model could go with our model really well, and I actually asked him to allow us to shadow his name to our presentation today. I just wanted to let you know that. Thank you.
For questions?
Yeah, hey guys, wonderful job. I always love to see how businesses are creating things to limit food waste, so well done. When you're looking primarily at the consumer sector, so the actual family who's going to be implementing these sensors, using the app, things like that, Have you guys looked into more of the reasons of why food is wasted? Is it that they go and they think, I'm going to go on a diet and I'm going to eat 6 bags of kale this week, and it just doesn't happen? Is it, what's the reasoning why behind that? And then I think that if we can kind of isolate more of those reasons, I'd like to know if you guys looked into that and in creating the different outputs for the app.
Well, I know from my experience, in my home at least, and from hearing from my friends too, we buy more food than what we eat. A lot of it goes in the waste, and also too, we have a fridge, and a lot of stuff is just crammed in there. We're not sure what's in there. We're not tracking it. It's just stuffed in there. We're not sure what's going where. So to have a system that visibly lets us see what do we have, what don't we need, what do we need, that's going to help us a lot more with purchasing and not overdoing it when we're at the store.
And I'm sure this applies to family with a lot of members in it. So personally, my family only has 3 people. So it doesn't take that much time to actually calculate what we need when we buy groceries. But I'm sure for families with more people, like 5, 6 families, that, I don't know, we don't really eat meal at the same time these days, right? So it could be different. So I think that will apply there.
Yeah, and then just the last thing, as a parent, I know when we're shopping, we try to get food that lasts, so we're getting the most out of our money, so we tend to get more than not.
Next presentation is Stock Up, Closing the Investment Knowledge Gap.
Hello, we are Team Biz Nerds, and we are presenting in the Wealth Optimizers category. My name is Catherine.
My name is Kelsey, and we represent the biz part of the team as business majors.
My name is Leo.
My name's Ethan.
My name is Darshal. And I'm Nick, and we represent the nerds as students from the College of Science. StockUp is a web application that aims to provide accessible education and personalized investment guidance.
After Dean Krishnamurthy's engaging and passionate Kickstart presentation, Kelsey and I asked the nerds if they had any investment experience. To our surprise, none of them had made any investments. When we asked why, they all shared the exact same reason. They wanted to invest, but they had no idea where to start. And they're not alone in this. According to Janus Henderson Investors, 45% of Gen Z who want to invest don't, due to a lack of knowledge. Another 25% say they would be more likely to invest if they had access to high-quality advice and a clear introduction to the fundamentals. But here's a problem. Seeking trustworthy financial guidance is often expensive or time-consuming. Not everyone has access to investment advisors or the incredible classes and professors we do here at Cal Poly Pomona. So for many people, investing is just too overwhelming.
And that's how StockUp was born. We wanted to make I've always stocked up on my favorite snacks. And should have stocked up on eggs instead. But that's kind of the point. We wanted to help our users. We wanted to help our users stock up on knowledge and success. And so before I take you to our website, let's take a look at some of the current websites that have a similar concept as ours. These graphs are so overwhelming. I don't understand any of this. What are they saying? Why does this cost so much money? And why should I have to pay for this information? And why is this one asking for all my personal information? So after seeing those websites, we wanted to make our website more user-friendly and more beginner-approachable. So on our landing page here, we have our mission statement. We have some features detailing our website. And if you were able to scroll under it, we would have our team page.
Our Investing 101 page introduces users to essential investment terms in an easy-to-understand format. Here, there are 3 cards that each include a relevant image and a short description. Our navigation is simple. Eventually, users will be able to click Next to move through cards with a progress bar. Words on the cards would eventually be highlighted for more details, a feature which Leo will expand more on. And once all cards are read, users can then click Continue to Profile Setup to move on to the next section.
So from there, you'll complete a quick and simple survey that determines your personal investment style. First, we would ask the user about their risk tolerance, their investment horizon, and their initial investment amount. We'd also ask if the user has any general preferences for the stocks they want to invest in, such as women-owned, big tech, or eco-friendly companies. This enables our platform to tailor your investing experience specifically for your needs. So StockUp will then provide personalized, AI-driven portfolio recommendations with clear explanations of why each investment aligns with your goals. There's also a 24/7 chatbot as your personal financial advisor, always accessible and tailored specifically to you. And here's a sample portfolio that the AI would create based off the survey.
Next, you can gain experience using our paper trading platform, which leverages real-time market data. A paper trading platform allows the user to practice investing without having to spend real money. Our platform also makes stock research effortless. When you search for security, we won't just provide basic facts. We'll also generate a summary of the most recent 10Q filing as well. For those of you that don't know, 10Q is just the same thing as a quarterly report. 10Qs can be hundreds of pages long, and most people neither have the time nor expertise to read them. With our summarizer, you will receive this knowledge for free and fast. We will also use AI sentiment analysis to display the most recent positive and negative sentiment news articles, giving our users an easy way to do their own research. Another core feature of our website is the insight tool. Suppose a user is unfamiliar with any concept on the website, they can highlight any text and then click an insight prompt. And then a clear beginner-friendly explanation would be then provided. If the user still does not understand the concept or topic, then they can click Simplify Further or directly talk with a chatbot. This tool is perfect and easy to use for beginners.
But due to the time constraints and the complexity of our idea, we focused on implementing the real-time stock search feature and AI stock recommendations, providing a strong foundation for our other enhancements. The true power of our platform is a seamless integration of these features to really create an approachable experience.
Who can we envision using StockUp? I see StockUp as more than just a website. It's a tool for education. Since teens can open up investment accounts at 18, our service would be perfect for high schools wanting to equip students with knowledge. Imagine AP economics classes running investing competitions using our paper trading platform. Students can experience the ups and downs of the market in a fun, risk-free way. It's an engaging and practical way to give students a head start on building financial confidence and habits that last a lifetime. And this is just one example of how we would market StockUp. At BizNerds, we believe that investing shouldn't be a privilege. It should be a right. Financial knowledge is power, and the power belongs in the hands of everyone, not just those with connections, expensive advisors, or elite education.
Your time is up. If you could please just wrap it up.
Okay. With StockUp, we're breaking down barriers, making investing accessible, understandable, and empowering for all. Our platform is just here to guide you, judgment-free, stress-free, and cost-free.
We believe the future of investing is inclusive.
The future of wealth building is for everyone.
We can create a community that is confident, informed, and financially capable.
So join us in democratizing wealth.
StockUp on knowledge.
StockUp on your future.
Together, let's create a future where everyone has the knowledge and tools to build wealth. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we're all just talking. Great job. Really love it. Clearly the need. I like how you did a lot of that research. Can you tell us a little bit about the business model and how you would take this to market? I know you talked about some of the targets in high school. Is this something that someone would pay for? Or is it a freemium model? How do you think about that?
Well, in the prompt that we were given, our main goal was to democratize wealth. We wanted this financial knowledge to be accessible for people, so our goal was to make it for free. Of course, as a business model, this isn't the most practical direction, but we thought that if we use open source LLMs and we combine this with some federal funding, perhaps from Department of Education or what was
like nonprofit federal grants.
Yes, that was the other one. Yeah, we did consider this though.
Is there any liability that you would carry from making or providing information that could drive people into stock purchases? I'm assuming there is, but I don't know.
We would include disclaimers on our website that our recommendations are just recommendations. We're not guaranteeing that they will make money because I think we've all learned the past few months the stock market is extremely volatile. That's why we have a paper trading platform, so they can practice first and see if our recommendations are actually legit.
Yeah, maybe make that a mandatory 2-week, engagement before
Great
you give them
idea.
access to sale.
Thank you so much. You do have a final question?
Yeah, just a quick clarification.
ahead.
Your platform only offers paper trading and knowledge base, right? There's not actually a place to manage a portfolio through your software?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Very much. Our last presentation is OptiShield AI, AI-powered firewall for OTP scam prevention.
So hello everybody, we are Team Treo and I'm Rashmi. So today we are here to present you OTP Shield AI, which is an AI-powered firewall for OTP scam prevention. So moving ahead, so what is the problem we are facing right now? So users are still being victims of scams. One is like either we get into human hackings, which includes scam calls, phishing messages, and also they tend to trick users sharing the OTPs. Also, currently, according in 2024, consumers have reported like 12.5 billion loss due to these scams. And also, we do have few existing systems, but they don't have any intelligence or context or also any scam awareness. Yes. So here we present you our idea. So our mission was to ensure safer digital interactions, eliminating any kind of OTP-based scams. And also we involved in creating a trust-first security solutions that are intelligent, adaptive, and also user-friendly. So here, this is our OTP Shield flow. This is how our system works. So once the user receives the OTP, it gets triggered and the AI core is getting activated. So initially we do the contextual data, we get the contextual data, that is a device ID, just to check if the device is this trusted device, and also OTP frequency, how often the user is getting OTPs, how frequent it is, and then the time and location, just to ensure the OTP is from a proper place or it's from an unknown place. And also recent user behavior, based on users' patterns and frequency of using the data. And also, moving on to that, we work on the sender verification. So we check if the sender is verified one or an unknown one. And also, based on this, we do the scoring, that is the behavioral risk scoring. So we generate a risk from 0 to 100. So it means like higher the risk, higher the score, higher the risk. So based on this scoring, we do the risk-based decision. So low risk means it's like OTP approved. Probability of that is the OTP is being legitimate. Medium risk means OTP is altered. Like it's like basically we check the OTP and then we alert the user and they can proceed if they feel it's legitimate. And then high risk, if we feel the OTP is not right, and then we blocked and then we get the log. Like we use the data to make our AI work better. And this is how the user gets notified.
Okay, can I? So our solution is OTP Shield AI, a smart OTP firewall powered by AI. The AI core intercepts OTP requests, scores the risk based on the behavior, and verifies the sender. The simulator that we have mimics real scam messages to train our AI to recognize and block fraud attempts. So here how OTP Shield works under the hood. So the first thing is that it uses OTP frequency, device ID, time, and location to calculate a fraud score. And the second thing is that it validates if the OTP is from a trusted source or a spoofed one. The third thing is that continuously it monitors activity to detect scam-like behavior. And the final part, the system either blocks, delays, or approves the OTP, all based on the calculated risk. So our project directly supports the UN SDG goals. So the first target is that that our project fulfills is it reduces cybercrime and digital fraud. And second part, it reduces the corruption and digital exploitation. And third thing, it builds trust in digital infrastructure. So OTP Shield creates digital trust through intelligent protection.
Yeah, so this is our initial prototype. We have made a mobile app. The project's going to be a mobile app, and it's called OPT Shield AI. So yeah, when you log in, that's like the splash page, and we're still making it proper. Like we still have to add more features, and we still have to, add more stuff to it. But initially, when you log in, you can choose which application you want to use, either WhatsApp, you can use Instagram, or you could use WhatsApp or iMessages to analyze the messages. And then what happens is we have a shield feature where you keep getting it analyzes your iMessages, whatever OTPs you're getting. When you click on that, it gives you like a score, which it calculates from our, we are using different, we're going to still experiment and choose which AI model to use. Like we haven't decided that, but we are going to experiment and try with the best ones, whichever gives best results. And as you can see, it gives like, different risk score, then how exactly, why the message is, not proper. And there are like different factors. It gives you a score, which it calculates. And yeah, so like different risk factors and other information. And then, yeah, so this was the initial prototype. We still have to make it proper by adding more features. We are thinking to make it like an AI agent, which you could incorporate into like different apps, like maybe even in Slack. Like in Slack, people use Slack a lot for their work, so you could incorporate it there. And yeah, so this was the initial app. And then, yeah, next slide. Yeah, so we're gonna use different. We're still figuring out what exactly AI model to use right now. Maybe we could use Claude. We could use OpenAI's different models which are available. We'll have to create a proper data set with. We'll have to add more data, collect more phone numbers, which will help detect better accuracy for the scores. Like if you have existing scammers, or when users report a phone number or an existing a known scammer, that can get displayed here and it'll alert us better. Then yeah, we'll also add different features where users can report and report if a number is suspicious, or if we are also going to be able to analyze their whole conversation with the sender, and then it's going to calculate the scores and just analyze the whole thing. And yeah,
your time is up.
Yeah.
Could you please wrap it up?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is our app, and if you have any questions, you can please ask us. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, could you just remind me, or just sort of repeat what were you using the WhatsApp for? Was that just to display the results of the OTP firewall?
Sorry?
What were you using WhatsApp for?
Yeah, so we have different applications which we could use this our app with, which could connect to different apps like Instagram, WhatsApp. You get OTPs nowadays you get OTPs also in Instagram. You get OTPs in iMessage. So it's gonna analyze the whole chat with the sender
and it's going to predict if it's suspicious, if it's not, and gives you a score. And if that number is suspicious from our data set, we'll know if if it's a scammer or not.
Okay, so you'll continue to add
Yeah,
additional...
we need to collect more data. We still need to figure out what exactly are we going to use for the whole AI analysis.
Okay.
We're still, but right now we have our basic app set up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a cool concept. I think 2 questions. I think you kind of alluded to the first was for user behavior analytics. I didn't really see much of like what you would be analyzing in terms of that. And then the second question is why securing OTP, right? If there's systems that use like biometrics or some other authentication, what prompted you guys to choose OTP?
So about the second, I'll answer the biometrics. Could you just repeat the second question, please? Biometric.
Hello. Right, so for authentication, right, you can use OTP, right? That's like a 2-factor system. What was it? Oh, you still can't hear me? Yeah. I was just saying, why OTP? Like, why not another secure system to... Well, just like, why was that? So why using user behavior analytics, right? Why was that the way to solve OTP and not like biometrics or some other system? Okay, fair.
We can continue the conversation later, yeah. But, is it okay?
Yeah, good answer.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you to the last team.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, I just want to mention that we had 51 submissions. There were like 233 students who submitted their challenges and videos. We had 51 submissions. From those, 9 were selected for the general categories and 3 for the Databricks category. So 12 teams out of the 51 teams were selected to present here today. We want to thank our judges. Thank you so much for your judging. And right now, we're going to go for lunch. And at 12:15, we have a keynote speaker, right? And the prizes will be given at 1:45 p.m. So, yeah, here. So we have right now the lunch, panel, presentation and panel, and at 1:45, the prizes for the hackathon. Thank you, everyone.